Hey, what's up, family? Welcome to Axe to My Ox.
Where we challenge you to stop playing and start pushing.
This right here is my incredible wife, Fiona.
And this right here is my very sexy husband.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I love that lipstick, baby.
I'm glad you like it. Okay, so we wanted to come to you today and talk about something that really stood out to me. It struck me. Somebody tagged me on Facebook, actually, and shared a meme with me and some other people, and they were like, what do you think about this? And it made me pause, and I shared it with my husband, and he was like, And it was very simple, but yet profound. And the meme said,
I really do.
I think my husband has traumatized me because every time I try to recall something from the past, something that was said, he'd be like, "You don't remember it. You don't know,
What's
you
the
don't
point
know
of
the
bringing it up if
words."
you're not gonna remember?
I know what it
Can you
is.
please flow? Let's flow. I mean, all of this
I'm just saying,
breaking up and
like,
stuff like
I was
that.
all like,
I mean,
I know.
So what is it? What did it say?
Because I'm feeling your energy. Like,
What did it say?
You over here like, she don't know
I
what
know.
you.
So go ahead. What did it say?
It said, "Are you woman enough to love a broken man? Are you woman enough to love a broken man?" And when I saw that in the picture, the image was a man who was broken. Literally, his body was broken into pieces, but you could see that it was a man. And the first thing I would say that came to me when I saw that meme was, wow. Wow. What an honor it is to be able to love a broken man.
An honor?
What an honor. And I've grown in my thinking and in my ways. I mean, if we really be real, and if I could jump out here and put my husband on Front Street just a little bit,
Okay.
just a little bit.
Since you got my permission before this video to do that, I mean,
I'm not gonna do a lot. All I'm gonna say is that you have pieces of you that are broken.
yeah, absolutely.
I mean, you do.
I would agree, as we all do.
We all do. We all do.
But let's not generalize it. I mean, I'll accept that and I'll say yes, I do.
You want to give an example?
Do I want to? No.
Will you give an example?
Will I give an example?
I know I'm putting him.
I know.
I'm putting him on the
Yeah,
spot.
I'll give an example. So the example that I want to give is really around me raising our children, and then how sometimes I find myself in a space where I'm just extremely, what's the word that I want to use? Not defensive, not guarded, but not even overprotective, but just constantly on watch. I feel like a security guard that's, just constantly on watch and looking for the things that are wrong. And that's not the approach
You
that,
keep going.
yeah, that's not the approach that I want to take. But I mean, I think that it's coming from just my upbringing, just some conditioning that I have as it relates to my childhood. And that conditioning has led me to a space where, I suspect, I expect, my children to be children. But, a part of being a child is, getting into some stuff, messing up and I'm just not always being on point. So, sometimes when I come in the house, I'm walking around and before I even greet the children, what I'll do is I'll be looking at the floor to see if they got stuff on the floor. I'll be looking at the kitchen to see whether or not plates are still out and food is on the floor, food is on the table, and dishes are in the sink. And so, the more appropriate way to go would be one where, I'm
Or
greeting
like
my
the other
children and
day.
just being present. But what I have the tendency to do is to not necessarily be present, but always look for the dysfunction in how we currently function. And so that's one way in which my brokenness shows up because, when it comes to my childhood, it's not even to say that my father or my mother was always necessarily looking for the dysfunction. But I think that, when it does come to me growing up, one of the things that was possibly missing was the praise or I mean, I got the praise, but I didn't necessarily, I felt like I had to be on point. So again, that expectation is passed on to my children where there's very little room for them to be messing up. So I think that that's how.
Did you experience that from your dad? Just kind of.
Not just my father, but I mean just my parents in general. Just not that much wiggle room in terms of messing up. Now I did mess up, but again, the way I approach my children is in a way where I'm expecting perfection, but that's really unrealistic.
And so, thank you for sharing, Boo. I put you on the spot like a mug.
Yeah, you really did.
I'm glad the meme didn't say, "Are you man enough to love a broken woman today?"
I would have put your stuff on blast on Front Street.
But I mean, for real, I just want to give you honor and respect, black man.
Thank you, man.
Yes, because when I saw that, I thought about. I didn't think about any specifics when it comes to you and your brokenness. But what I thought about is, sorry, I'm leaking. Sorry, I'm nursing. And he's like, this is a little wet on your shirt. Sorry. Little TMI there when you're looking at our videos. But anyway, I did think about the fact that, wow, as I have known my husband since being a 17-year-old, I have learned more and more about you, and I have been able to very clearly see the ways in which my husband operates from a place that's not where I'd like to see him operate from in certain areas. You know what I mean? And I've seen it consistently, and so I know that it's not, in that particular area, the one that you just talked about, or even, another one that I could think of. I know that it is not something that is light. It's not something that is not, what am I trying to say? That has not impacted him significantly, because it is very much a part of his being, kind of like how he flows, what he does. It's like how he just described. We have things that happen to us in childhood, or we just have certain experiences. Just the ways that our parents raised us, doing the best that they can with what they know and what they have. And so because of that, we take on those very same ways, those very same things, and we don't even want to do it. We don't even know that we're doing it. We don't even necessarily always see what's wrong with it. And then we can be in a place where my husband's able to name it, but yet he is still struggling with it, or deals with it, or has to check himself on it, or sometimes, falls victim to it. So whatever the it is, it's really important for us to understand and know that we're all broken. And that we all are dealing with something. And so I want to lift this up. When I say we're all broken, we also have that strengths-based language that we use.
Yeah.
And we try to get out of looking at the deficits of people. Those of you all who are in the mental health field out there, you understand what I'm saying. So I don't mean broken in a way where you need to identify with that and say, I'm, so low down to the ground, woe is me. What I'm saying is that everybody's been fractured on some level. And you don't have to identify with the fracture. You don't have to let that overwhelm you and consume you, but to not acknowledge that it is there, that it exists, only keeps you from being able to truly see what it is that you are to overcome, so that you can become all that you are supposed to be. Okay, so that's what we mean. So are you woman enough to love a broken man? I'm woman enough to love a broken man. Because one thing that I know for sure is that there is no man that is unbroken, not in this country, not in this world, not on this planet. One thing that I know for sure is that every person is supposed to attract another person to them. And that person has some brokenness in them that only you can help to heal by God working through you. And I have brokenness in me that Aize, my husband, was meant to help heal by God working through him. So there is divinity, and there is, there's great blessing in the brokenness. So to look for somebody, as so many women, oftentimes I hear women talking, well, he needs to have this, and if credit ain't right, you need to be blah, blah, blah. I mean, all of this kind of stuff. I'm not saying that's not important. I'm not saying that you shouldn't have standards. I'm not saying that there should not be a clear sense of who you are and what you are worth when it comes to dealing with another person who you are particularly considering living your life with. But what I am saying is that when you look for this perfection, that you will find yourself endlessly looking. And really it takes more courage to love someone, to be there for someone, to go through the stress of dealing with someone, to be disappointed because the person is just doing the best they can. I mean, I have been disappointed by you. You know what I'm saying that for? I'm saying that for effect. I know you're like, dang, well, what's that about? But I have been. But have you not been disappointed by me? Have I not caused you great pain in our relationship? Great pain. And you have done the same for me. And yet, in the midst of all of that, I love you more than I have ever loved you. You meet my everything that I need in ways that I can't possibly fathom anybody else could ever do. So how can someone who causes such great pain be able to cause such great pleasure and such great love? Because that's what it really means to be in a relationship.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, if I can't really speak to no struggle, if I can't speak to really, you know, being on the down and out in my relationship in some ways, you know, there's always qualifiers, y'all. We ain't talking about, I always gotta say this stuff because people say, well, if you're getting beaten, we ain't talking about that now, okay? But I have to say it because everybody doesn't have common sense. Then what do you really have to speak to? Because you know, a relationship should be more than roses and flowers. And you know, I've said this before many times, and I'm gonna stop talking because I know I'm talking a long time. But I've said this many times before that people get caught up and say, you know, love shouldn't look like this. You know, love is this and love is that. Love is not pain and love is not hurt and what have you. And what I always say is be careful. Because love is not all roses and flowers. It is not all beauty and, you know, sweep me off my feet and good feelings and you're my confidant and my protector and my rescuer and everything is good when I'm with you. It's me and you against the world because you make me perfect and you make me feel good. It's not always like that. You know, it's just not. You know, it is divine that your partner brings up in you and brings to the surface in you things that make you quite uncomfortable, things that make you feel challenged, things that make you look at yourself. Either you will look at yourself or you will push back. And so we do it all. I've looked at myself and I've pushed back. And then I push back some more and then I look at myself. Then I say I ain't looking at myself for a minute. I don't want to, so stop bringing that up. When I'm ready to deal with it, I'll deal with that.
Yeah.
Right? We've done all of that. But am I woman enough to love a broken man? Oh, yes. Because when I love the brokenness in someone else, it is then and only then that I can actually have some of the brokenness that is inside of me be healed. It is when I'm compassionate for someone else that I'm able to have compassion for myself. You know, I can't do it. I can't do it if I'm not doing it for myself. And it's a reciprocal process. So, yes, I'm woman enough. I got enough courage. I have enough audacity. I have enough wherewithal. I have enough sense of self to be able to love someone who is not a mirror of perfection, but is perfect for me and all that I'm supposed to be doing. And y'all see me moving all around because I got my baby right here in my lap. And that's all I have to say on that. Anything you guys say on that, babe?
That was awesome, man. I mean, just the fact that you managed to get through the rest of this video with a baby on your boob. That's
Are you telling me that I was nursing the baby?
Yeah, I mean, that's what's up. You know, ride or die. You know, you make it happen. I love that.
Yeah, y'all ain't know we had to roll out. I had to stop the video,
stop
go
the
get
video,
the
go
baby.
get the baby and all of that. But, you know, we make it do what it do. And I agree wholeheartedly, you know, when it comes to loving a broken man. You know, and I appreciate the fact that you've been patient with me in this process and that you've loved the brokenness inside of me. And through doing that, you've shined some light on your own brokenness and have been healed in that process too. So I give thanks, you know, to the Creator for you being present in my life and loving me the way you love me, because you love me so good.
Love you, baby.
As always, y'all, stop playing and start pushing.